Hello and welcome. This is the Hello Rant Podcast. I'm the host of this podcast. You can call me B. So this will be the first time that I've done this by a video before. So of my 10 listeners, I can finally see my handsome face. But I'm still going to do kind of the general format that I do. Just going to do my podcast. You can just see me now. So I'm going to do a little quicker recap of 33. I'm looking at my notes over here on my computer. That's why I'll look over. But I'm going to do a quick recap of 33. We're going to do kind of like my wish list moving forward. And then we're going to go to my screen of my computer. And we're actually going to just like look at some speculation stuff because I'm not going to pretend that I am an insider or anything like that. I'm in Alabama. I don't know anybody at Universal. So I just read the insiders and we will read the insiders together. And I'll give you the latest that I've seen it'll be just the Insider Universal, I guess is the website, whatever. We'll do it. We'll do a screenshot and we'll look at it together. Anyways, as far as 33, I've had obviously a long time. It's March, so I've had a long time to forget about 33. Now I'm thinking about it again. Insidious was an all-time house. It was a great house. It was first house that I've really been scared by. I mean, like, generally, it got me. I mean, Yeti got me. But, I mean, I just don't get scared by houses often. It was really just that one room in Insidious, but I just loved that house. It was intense. It was scary. Even if a house doesn't necessarily just absolutely just jump scare me, a house can be intense and scary, and Insidious did that. Sweets was a good house. It was right on par with Oddfellow, maybe The Weekend, one of those kinds of houses. Frozen Empire, nice surprise. The rest of the houses totally forgettable. Totally forget. I could hardly remember their names. Just I know. I won't dunk on any of the houses. They were just the rest of them were forgettable. I'm trying to think if I have any actual thoughts. I was most disappointed probably by Slaughter Cinema. I just heard a lot of hype up about that house. I did not go through Slaughter Cinema 1, so I did not have the nostalgia thing going for me. I'd heard some people said that was their favorite house ever, and I just didn't. Slaughter Cinema 1, and they were looking forward to Slaughter Cinema 2, and I just didn't get that. I thought I'm trying to think if I have it. Museum stood out as a really terrible house. I don't know, just lazy, terrible. Triplets, man, triplets was a letdown. Lazy, terrible house. Lazy may be a stretch, but just not good. Sorry. Um, the scare zones for 33 were just totally underwhelming, totally forgettable, totally underwhelming, lacking intensity, lacking energy. I'm not gonna have the best memories of 33. But even a bad night of or a bad event, whatever of HHN is still a good night. Let's be honest. I'll still keep coming. Maybe I shouldn't say that because Universal is just gonna keep doing the thing, and I'm gonna just keep coming. But whatever. Um, I really measure everything against my bellwether year of 29, and that's the first year that I went. And 29 really stood out to me as opposed to the other years, the subsequent years, as just being high energy, high intensity. It was a lot more raw, better soundtrack, just less corporatized. Yeah, I think we're getting into this era of corporate horror nights, And it's just kind of a bummer. Things always go this way. Just everything goes this way in life. When Horror Nights started in the 90s, they had to take risks. They had to do things. They had to really put themselves out there. They had to be edgy. They had to do things to build the brand. And, they don't have to do that anymore. People are going to show up to Horror Nights. I mean, the crowds are just going to be getting more and more. So they don't really have to do anything. But I think you should, just out of having, if I'm a Universal team of Horror Nights, I'm going to go beyond, go far and beyond just for the sake of it. Just because you create this special thing, it's to keep things being special. But, it's not been so good. The food, I forgot to mention, the food and drinks are pretty underwhelming. There's nothing that just like made me want to go buy the food when I was there. They took away my fried Oreos, which is what I love the most. And the fried Twinkies they had too were good. The year before that. So last year's just food was pretty underwhelming. The drink booths are drink booths. It is what it is. I don't think I got a pre-mixed drink this year. I may have gotten just like a bartender made drink at that, whatever was the Peacock bar. And now I don't know what it is now. It's the Fanta bar, I guess. It's where David S. Pumpkins was. But that's usually where I got my drink. And I didn't really even get a lot of that. I didn't drink a lot this past event. Not so much food. I think that I have some more criticisms. It seems like we're putting so much emphasis on photo ops and not intensity. Photo ops and not entertainment. So like the HHN bars, a good example of this. It's kind of cool that they had characters from the houses there, but let's be real, they were just photo ops. It wasn't much else. So if you're like someone like me that doesn't care at all about photo ops, and I don't have Instagram, I don't do any of that. The most I ever photoed myself is making videos for YouTube, and so I don't have any desire to do these photo ops like the Blumhouse, take pictures of Megan. I didn't do any of that, but I wish we would get away from that. More entertainment, less. I'm going into my wish list, so I need to wrap up my recap of 33. I wrote on here that every event has gotten more low energy since 29 and more corporate. Take that as it is. Moving forward from my wish list, I want the intensity of the scare zones to just bump up the intensity of the scare zones. Upgrade your scare zones. Come on, Universal. The scare zones have been terrible. And what I mean by upgrade the intensity, if it's a scary scare zone, make it more scary. If it's like a party, if it's an energy scare zone, make it more energy. Whatever. If it's a funny scare zone, make it funnier. The scare zones have just been kind of milk toast, if that's my fancy word of the day. Just not great. I really wanted to like the scare zones from 33, but I tried. I did. I didn't like them, any of them. And give us more raw, and less corporate. I mean, obviously, I just said this like 5 times already, so I was going to say that for my wish list. But give us some nostalgia. Like bring back Rat Lady. Just give us like a couple of nights of Robosaurus. I know Robosaurus is probably expensive to get him there for the event. I mean, they did it in the 90s. And maybe it's not so like logistically great anymore with the, having a street performance thing, but get Robosaurus there for like a few weekends. Do something to kind of give us more of that, just a little bit of nostalgia, just a little bit. I have more street entertainment. We need more just like off the cuff stuff. I mean, beyond. I mean, the chainsaw hordes are great, but what if we had just like a roaming entertainer of some sort, or a roaming scare actors, or something like that? That some kind of roaming act, or not even that. Maybe just small little stuff. That's how the event started. There was less houses, and obviously I didn't go to the event in the '90s, but I did read. I have read a lot about it. And what it was less houses and scare zones, but it was just a lot of entertainment here and there. And it was kind of like a party. It was like a big Halloween party with little mini events and stuff like that. And I think we could go back to that, add a little bit of that in the streets, give people things to do other than just stand in line for houses and go through lame scare zones. Give us the Lagoon Show, at least the Lagoon Show. I wish they would give us another show, even though I don't really care for shows, but it does eat crowds, for sure. Food, give us new items, but also, so give us some new items and make it, do what you've been doing, but also give us some staples. I mean, I know we have the staples of pizza fries and twisted taters, but give us some like really popular food items from the previous years. I know a lot of people really love those Reuben fries. I actually did not have them, but some people did just love those things. Bring back like the most popular food items and less vegan stuff. Like, good grief. I think Universal thinks that half of everyone that goes to this event is vegan, and that's just not the case. So give us new stuff. Give us some of the most popular things from the previous years. And yeah, please give Reuben fries. I think it's HHN 365 podcast that just keeps talking about that. I think that's them. But anyways, and from the way they talk about it, they did sound good. I hate that I missed out on that. Oh, and one good ice cream dish. Give us a good ice cream. It's hot. It's hot in September and Horror Nights. Give us something to cool us down. So one at least good ice cream dish. I'm trying. They may have had one. No, they didn't. They had some kind of cake. Give us a good ice cream dish. That would be awesome. Or a cool treat. Um, that's all I got for this. It's not. There's not much for me to say. It's March, so we'll keep going. Maybe I'll expand upon some of my wish lists in further episodes. I usually actually don't make spec season videos and podcasts, but I, I was a little bored, so I decided to make one today. But maybe I'll ramp that up. We'll do that. But what we're gonna do is switch over right now to my computer screen, and actually am going to switch mics too, so that may sound a little different. So on to speculation for 34. I've heard, I mean, I haven't heard anything. I read this forum inside of Universal. I'll listen to other podcasts. I did check out, I'm not a Discord guy, but I did download Discord. I don't even really know how it works that well, but I was able to find my way to the HHN Discord. It just seems about kind of like the same thing as this right here, this Insider Universal forum. Just a lot of the same things. People want to talk about it, Horror Nights, and they do on this. It's Insider Universal, and you come to the Halloween Horror. You make your way to the Halloween Horror Nights speculation rumors, and you have, I think, a few insiders that post on this, and then but you just, like I said, it's mostly just speculation. I've heard for this year, I've read for this year, Last of Us 2, Terrifier, Insidious returning. We're actually about to look at this. 11 houses, 12 houses. I've heard a lot of. I don't think anything is really concrete in terms of just being out there. Does Universal know? Absolutely. I mean, they know their houses well ahead of time, but they've kept them secret, I guess. If you read this forum, you see a lot of, well, Universal is really, they are consumed with Epic, which is understandable and probably correct. So it may be a doozy in terms of announcements this year. HHN may be a doozy. I don't know. It's just a wild card. We'll see. Here, the latest that I'm reading here from Legacy is that he thinks Insidious coming back. So that's the latest of the latest. Insidious returning. He says it's something that he heard in December. I'm actually curious, like, who does he hear this stuff from? But I mean, obviously he can't divulge that. I don't know if he works for Universal. Maybe he does. But anyways, Legacy's about as like spot on as an insider as you get. Even then, he just doesn't, say houses. I mean, he can't. Even if he did know the houses, he wouldn't just like come up here and tell us all. But this is a hint that he thinks that Insidious may return, because I could go through all this, but basically you're seeing that it has to do with permits, in that Insidious was in a specific sound stage, and there has not been another permit for that specific sound stage. So the theory is that either Insidious can be just completely redone and then used as an 11th house. I'd be perfectly fine with that. I would love to do Insidious again, especially if it's an extra house. I don't think anyone could complain if we got an 11th house and, with 10 new ones, even if it was a repeat, I don't think there would be complainers. And if you read this website, you'll find some doozies, some people on here that are just a little weird, and they're just poo-poo on anything. But that's like everything in life. There would be complete people complain. But anyways, back to the speculation. He's saying that there was not a permit pulled for 24A. And he lists a lot of different reasons. He's listing kind of like some facts that we know, and then he's listing evidence for why that the house is going to be there, but there was no permit pulled. I mean, y'all can go read this if you do Halloween Horror Nights, and then you go to Insider Universal, and then you go make your way to the Halloween Horror Nights 34 UOR Speculation and Rumors. That's the Orlando. Then you'll be able to read all this stuff for yourself. But if you're not, we'll keep you up. And he seems to think that it's a really, really good chance or a decent chance that we're going to have an 11th house. So I think that would be cool. There's someone down here a little bit. I've already read through this a bit. And someone says that they have it on good authority that Insidious was taken down. I don't know if this person is. Yeah, here we go. Killer Clown says, I have it on good authority that Insidious was taken down, so if it comes back, they will have to rebuild it. So, it could be that Insidious was actually taken down, but they cut the bones of the house. And if you don't change the structural layout of the house, then you don't need a new permit. But it's just, I would assume it's just like building a house or renovating a house. If you don't change anything with the structural or the electrical anything like that, and you keep pretty much the same footprint, and you're just changing the decor, maybe the drywall, just the whatever plaster that they work with, nothing that's going to really change the skeleton of the house or the electrical or the wiring of the house or whatever. Theoretically, they could just put a similar house in there, which I'm perfectly fine with that as well. They should probably, if they're going to do an 11th house, that would make sense. And just put something else. This person says Silent Hill. I won't read this person's things. This person's weird. Anyways, if y'all are reading this, sorry. Actually, I'm not really sorry. Some of the people on this website are a bit like full of themselves, but some people are cool. Anyways, dead exposure. I think I read that. Anyways, as far as speculation, like I said, if you are listening to this podcast, you have listened to all the other podcasts, and you're probably just at the bottom of the barrel, and you're finally listening to me. So you already know. So that's the latest. Is Insidious coming back for the 11th house? I think the 11th house just being there would be the biggest story. And that would be awesome. They really should do something like that, since they're gonna deprive us of Rip Ride Rocket, which I never ride at Horror Nights. I probably should, but it's probably cool at night. But I'm assuming the ride is going to be gone by the time we get to Horror Nights. They're replacing Rip Ride Rocket. And it does eat a lot of the crowd. We need more crowd eaters, for sure. And 11th house would do that. I hope they give us 12. That would be really cool. But anyways, folks, that's all I got for this episode. We see anything else come up on speculation, we'll hit it the next time.